What you say?
I told you that it's time to start the show.
That you only meant well.
Yeah, the show's gonna do
Of
well.
course you did. What you say?
I said let's go.
That it's all for the best.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be like the best
Of course it
podcast.
is. What you say?
God, do I have to keep repeating myself?
Just what we need. You decided this.
Hold up, I
What
thought we
you
both
say?
decided to do this.
What did she say?
I said let's start the show.
Hey everyone, welcome to Whatcha Say, an OC podcast. My name is Elyse Daly,
And I'm Scott Daly.
and together
We're
the Dailies.
I like how you did that. Whatcha say?
Did you like it?
Yeah.
That's good.
This is the podcast where each and every week my wife Elyse and I go through the hit 2000s teen drama, The OC, episode by episode. This week on the show, we are covering two more episodes in Season 3, Episode 12, The Sister Act, and Season 3, Episode 13, The Pot Stirrer.
You know what other movies we could watch for a movie marathon weekend?
What?
The Sister Act movies.
No,
Why not?
because there's only two of them.
Are there only
It's
two?
not really a marathon. It's just a double feature.
Well, if we could find a version of the musical, we could do that.
You know what I realized this week, Elyse?
What?
I need to talk to you about this because it's on my mind and I'm very upset about it. I was on the old OC fandom wiki this week.
Are you spoiling more things?
No, I was pulling episode summaries for the show, and I noticed there was a section of the OC fandom wiki that I never saw before. And you know what it was?
What?
It was podcasts. It was podcasts about the OC, and they listed 4 of them.
Was ours on there?
No.
Why not?
No.
Are all the other ones recent, like up-to-date ones?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
Can you put ours on there? It's a wiki.
I suppose I could edit it and put ours on there, but
Yeah.
I feel like as much crap as we've talked to the quality of the episode summaries on that show, I don't think they want us. I think they're making a statement, and I'm going to make a statement too, and say I don't want you, OC fandom wiki.
And I'm going to make a statement too.
What is your statement?
If you're listening, why don't you put us on there, please?
Wait, that was the opposite of the statement I just made. Like, that doesn't work. We're taking a stand.
No, that's what Stephen King does. We don't take stands.
I do.
No.
I'm trying. You're cutting my legs
You
out
know what
from
I'm
under
trying
me,
to
babe.
do? I'm trying to expand our listenership. And one way that could happen, Scott, is for us to get on the OC Wiki.
I mean, part of the problem, I think, if
So I
had,
could call out a listener right now that I know listens to the show and say, put us on the OC Wiki.
you know listeners that listen to us?
Sammy, put us on the show.
That's not
This is it. This is it, Sammy. This is your one time shout out. And maybe I'll shout out again if you actually do it. But I think you listen to this.
This is a
and
good way
so
to
if
test
you
if
do,
our friend is still listening to
if
the
you
show.
are still listening, put us on the OC Wiki.
I think the general problem is I don't feel comfortable enough saying that we are an OC show.
Why
Because
not?
we're like barely an OC show.
Do we talk about the show?
We do.
Yeah, okay.
But we mostly just talk about ourselves.
And how we relate to the show.
Mostly just ourselves.
That's fine.
Speaking of ourselves, let's talk about the part of the show where we talk about ourselves.
Okay, the Rosies and Thorties?
Yeah.
Where we look back on last week and we talk about the good, the bad.
Uh-huh.
The Rosies and the Thorties.
That's the one.
Yeah, okay. So starting with Scott's bad this week. What's your thorn?
My thorn is that we have entered a phase in our lives called the Great Toy Battle. It's officially begun. It started this week.
I think that right now it's a little bit of an unfair advantage
It is.
because
It is.
one of the members required in the battle is not here yet.
That's true. So we have dog toys, right? We have all these dog toys.
Yeah.
But we've also been getting baby toys
Yeah.
because we're having a baby.
Yeah.
And
Nice people giving us toys.
and this past week we got a new toy that is not a dog toy, but if you're a dog, could be seen to resemble a dog toy.
It looks like a football.
And we
But it's
woke
not.
up Sunday morning.
It's the shape of a football, not the like color and fabric.
Yeah.
It's just the shape.
Woke up Sunday morning and we heard this rattle. the strange rattle we had not heard before. And Elyse is like, what is that? Mm-hmm. And Elyse goes and investigates and finds that Penny has plucked a baby toy out of the baby toy holder and is playing with it like it's a dog toy. Mm-hmm. And we knew this was going to happen eventually because to Penny, anything that is stuffed is hers. Mm-hmm. I just didn't expect it so soon. We still got 47 days until this child comes.
40.
Well, you don't know
It's
that.
coming a week early.
You don't know that. We got 47 days until this child comes, and already the great dog/baby toy battle has begun. And I got to tell you, I feel like the dogs are going to win this battle. I feel like we're going to have to throw away a lot of baby toys. I don't know how to stop it. I don't know how to stop it. How do we stop it?
I don't know, but I'm going to go off on a different thing. I called HR today because I had to talk to him about, wrapping up some stuff for the end of the year. And the guy was like, so you're not coming back after the end of the year to finish this stuff out? It's like, no.
I'm having a bebe.
If I go full term, then my leave is through the rest of the year. I think it would end the last week that the students are here. So no, unless I come early. He was like, okay, I need to look at this. Because what I asked, the question was whether it was law or district
order
policy. And if it was district, he was like, then we could work with it. But if it's law, then we obviously can't. So
work with what?
I have to do some year-end conferences with everyone that I observed. And it's supposed to be in April when I'll be on leave.
Oh, so you're asking if you can do them
And so
early.
I'm asking if I can do them before I leave. But if it's mandated by law for that window, then I can't. But if it's just a district decision window, then I can.
Hey, does your boss know you're not coming back?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Just maybe just tomorrow, just like go into her office and
she
be
mentioned today when she was talking about all this stuff before I called HR about this question, she was like, it's going to be so hard when she's talking to her supervisor, not texting Elyse all the time. So she knows.
Okay, good.
She knows.
Because we'll get to this in a minute, but we saw your boss this weekend and we were talking and she told me, she's like sitting there, she's like, we just love Elyse so much. I just don't know what I would do without her. And in the back of my head, all I was thinking was, well, you're about to find out. So I just want to make sure that she knows.
She does.
Okay.
She does.
Okay. Good. Yeah. So yeah, that's my thorn is the great dog baby toy battle of 2021.
Yeah.
I don't think there's going to be any survivors of this battle. None of the bunnies are going to survive.
No.
None of the rattles.
As long as the dogs don't think that the baby is the toy.
That is the most important part. Yeah. If we can get through without the dog chewing on the baby, we did something. You know what I'm worried about? The teethers for our son that we bought look a lot like dog chew toys.
We'll wash them. It's fine.
All right.
It's all about sanitizing, washing, cleaning.
That is my thorn.
It'll be okay.
And we'll see how that unravels. You know what I realized? I realized that 2 weeks ago, I bet you $100 that a sweater was hanging up in a closet, and we never told the audience the result of
that. But
it
was not hanging up in the closet.
It was.
Yeah, because I went and hung it up in the closet.
You are lying.
Am I?
Yes.
Are you sure?
You can't just project confidence into the microphone and have people... You are lying.
You don't know that I'm lying or not.
Yes, I do. We had a whole conversation about it where you said, okay, fine, I'll pay you back in coffees.
No, Scott, that never happened.
This is gaslighting, and I don't appreciate it, Elyse.
I mean, Scott, if you don't remember it, then that's fine. But I was the one, I saw it on the floor before you went and you looked in your closet. I hung it up, and so I put it in your closet for you.
Wow. This is so... No one's going to believe me. Everyone's going to believe you. They're going to believe you.
Yeah, because you're always going on and on about how I'm always wrong about things.
This is not fair. This is how it feels like. I've never felt this way before.
Felt what?
Gaslit. This is how it feels. It's not a good feeling.
Well, yeah, being on fire is not a good feeling.
Elyse,
also, lying to your public is not a good feeling, is it?
Wow. This breaks my heart.
I'm sorry.
You broke my heart, Fredo.
I'm not going to put it back together
I know.
again.
I know it was you.
Okay.
Will you just tell me your thorn now that I'm
Yeah.
all sad?
I will.
The upsetting thing is, all the people can't see your face right now, that you have the biggest smile on your face because you know you're lying to
You have
me.
a smile on your face.
Because I know you're lying.
How do you know I'm lying? I
Because-
hung your sweatshirt up in the closet.
I'm so mad at you.
I don't know why you're mad. I did you a favor. I picked up something that you always throw on the floor and I hung it in the closet for you.
This will not stand. This will not stand. This blatant lies and manipulation.
Okay.
Tell me your thorn.
Okay. I can't really go into much detail about it because of privacy and everything, but I just want to say I hate COVID. I've said it before. I'll say it again. It was a huge drain. It was a lot of work. It was unfortunate situations, and I'm just, it's part of my job. I get it, but it was very stressful, and I can't go into detail. Just know that the full moon plus COVID does not equal goodness.
What?
We had the bad day that we had to deal with all this COVID stuff. It was a full moon, so all these it was like craziness.
Oh, because you believe in that.
I do. When you have a toddler, you'll believe in it too.
Babe, the moon doesn't change behavior.
Yeah, it does.
No, it's just a moon.
Okay.
It's just a
ER
thing.
doctors say that there's more incidences on the night of the full moon.
Maybe that's because it's brighter out.
Yeah, so people go out and they do stuff that they shouldn't.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the moon's influencing behavior.
It does, Scott. It does.
No, it doesn't.
Scott.
Are you going to go back to how you're always right? This is so... COVID sucks. That is the important thing. COVID sucks.
That's it.
You know
It's
what
just-
sucks
it
about
sucks.
COVID for me?
What?
When every little sniffle or headache or cough or anything you get, you're like, oh, fuck. Because I had a really bad headache on Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
A bad headache. I don't know where it came. I mean, I know where it came from. I didn't drink enough water that day. And I worked out and I was just dehydrated and I got a super bad headache. And of course, you're just like, fuck. Am I sure? Am I sure? We had people coming over the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, fuck, we should cancel. We should cancel. But no, we shouldn't cancel because I'm fine. And thank God it was just a headache and it's gone. But every little thing now, because the symptoms of COVID is just like feeling bad in certain ways.
Yeah, it's like symptoms of a regular cold.
Do you have a cough?
Symptoms
Do you
of a
have a
sinus
stuffy
infection.
nose?
Symptoms
Do you
of
have-
being pregnant.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you pregnant? You have COVID.
Yeah. Remember when I told you I had shortness of breath?
Yes, I do. Do you want to
That's
talk
just
about
'cause I'm
roses now?
pregnant.
Because I want to move on to happier things because
Yeah,
you've
let's do that.
frustrated me. I'm flustered now.
Okay, so Scott, tell me about what was so good this week.
The thing
Other than the fact that I hung your sweatshirt up for you.
I can't believe you're just lying. It just really hurts my feelings. This week, I wanted to talk about video essays on YouTube because there were some really good video essays released over the past 7 days that I really liked. I like video essays on YouTube a lot.
I know
think
you
it's
do.
just a very creative, interesting, fun way of relaying information about things. Most of the ones I watch, you will be unsurprised to hear, are about movies and television and books. But I like them about all kinds of things, about politics, about history, about anything. I just love the video essay format. There was one that came out the other day from a YouTube channel called Sideways that analyzes music that I've been loving because I don't know jack shit about music, but this guy was like a music studies major, knows a lot of shit about music. And
Oh, this is the one with like the cats.
yeah,
that you told me
he
to
did a
watch.
really detailed breakdown of why the music in Cats, the movie, was so bad. And it's really fun. You learn so much. And I love podcasts. I love podcasting. I love doing them. I love listening to them. I love that whole thing. There's something unique about the video essay that holds my attention in a way that even like podcasts I'm fine doing while I'm like walking, making dinner, grocery shopping, that kind of thing. It's like the thing that you're listening to while you're doing other stuff. But I feel like when I watch a video essay, I sit down and I watch it.
It's because you have the visuals.
Yeah, the visuals they make a big difference. And
I guess what that's telling us, Scott, then, is that
we gotta pivot to video.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
For us. Like, people want to see us.
They do. Because then they would know when you're lying to me.
I'm not lying, Scott.
You see the stupid smirk. Oh, yes, we need to do visual because I love video essays. That was I watched a lot of good ones this week, and I really liked them. So that's it. That's all I had.
I'm so happy.
Continue with your thing, because I guess something big happened this weekend.
We were showered, Scott.
We were showered
with gifts for our little guy. It was so exciting. It was a baby shower. We had our baby shower on Saturday,
but it was a COVID baby shower.
Yes, in order to try and minimize the amount of contact between people, because it would have brought a lot of different circles together in one place, and I'm not comfortable doing that, especially with the amount of exposure that I get on a daily basis and this week in particular. We did a drive-by baby shower, which I thought worked out so nicely. Everyone just came and they stayed in their car. They had a little game that they could play. They got some little refreshments and some cookies, and we got to chat with them. And if they either brought their gifts or they had just sent them to the house, because they can do that online. So that was nice.
It was so cool. It was the most amount of people I've seen.
Yeah, because you don't see a lot of
in
people
like
at
10 months. It really was. And we did it safe, and I'm very thankful that everyone was willing to work with us.
We were masked the whole time.
We were masked the whole time. Most of the people that were in their cars were wearing masks as well, but even so, we were standing a ways back from them as we were talking to them. A few people got out of their cars.
They were all people that I work with, that I'm around on a daily basis in the same proximity. So it was...
Most people stayed in their cars, and we just talked from a safe distance. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know like anyone, because it was mostly your family and friends from your jobs that I've never met.
Work friends.
I mean, of course I knew some people, but
you've heard of all of them.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of all of them, but a lot of them I didn't know. But just like getting to small talk with people in real life was really nice. It was really nice. I mean, I was so happy that they were there to give us gifts, and we've got so many things that we needed to give for the baby now. It's really nice to look at that big pile of gifts and be like, oh, thank God we don't have to buy all that stuff. Yeah. But yeah, no, just getting to talk to people was nice. Both your sisters organized it and put it on.
They did a great job.
And they did a great job.
We have leftover cookies. So we're going to eat the cookies for days.
So good.
You know what's in those cookies? I'm surprised.
What?
That you're eating them? Coconut.
I don't taste it.
Oh, well, it's in there.
It. You know why I don't taste it?
The butterscotch.
It's the butterscotch and the oatmeal. Yeah. Look, I wish we got left with the chocolate chips.
Me too. They only handed out the chocolate chips to everyone. I was like, why are you not handing out the others?
Because nobody wanted them. Because when you got to choose between a choco chip and a everything cookie, people go like, whoa, everything. That's too... I just want some things.
My little sister...
They should have called it a some things cookie.
She was also frustrated because she wanted to have much more variety in the cookie flavors. And my mom was like, no, just do 2.
Was it more expensive if you do variety?
No, it's just you have less of what could be popular.
I mean, I would have just done one. Just done choco chip.
Yeah, I would have been fine just doing chocolate chip. But
everybody
she wanted
loves
to
a chocolate chip
experiment
cookie.
They had some snickerdoodle. They have peanut butter. She knows that we love peanut butter, so she wanted to get peanut butter too.
Okay, now I'm angry at your mom.
Okay. Well.
You tell her.
Okay. Oh, that should have been my thorn, not my mom. The balloon arch.
Oh gosh. So everything went great.
So everything was wonderful, and we were really worried because when we looked at the weather for Saturday was the only day the entire week that had rain. And it did end up raining, but it only rained until probably about 11, and the shower was at 2. But after the rain came the wind. And I don't mean like, oh, nice little breezy wind. I mean 25 mile to 40 mile hour winds. And so we had these awnings that were outside because we anticipated some rain. So we were trying to prepare for that. And then we also had this balloon arch that took my sister 3 hours to hand blow up balloons and tie them on Friday.
Easily 100 balloons.
And she didn't know that we had the clamps so that she didn't have to tie them. Did I tell you that? She had like little plastic clamps that she didn't even actually have to tie the balloons, but she didn't know about it. So she tied all of them when she wasn't going to have to.
Yikes. And we didn't even use them.
And then it took at least an hour to put them on the thing that was going to make it into an arch. And then they tried to take it outside, and literally they pulled it outside, and the wind was so strong that it just popped balloons. It just outside, it just popped.
So we got to take pictures of you standing in front of a giant balloon arch.
Oh, yeah.
Inside.
The balloons stayed inside, and then we popped them yesterday.
It took like 2 hours to pop all these balloons
so
yesterday.
many balloons.
What a waste of balloons. Oh my gosh.
It was so sad.
They were very pretty though.
They were so pretty. It would have been so pretty outside. It's fine. It's a fun memory.
It is.
But
it was a good time. It was a good time.
It was.
And that's the last
We felt very loved. We have one more shower, but it's just my work shower.
I won't be there
and
for
you
that
won't.
one.
I mean, you could if you wanted to. It's just a Zoom link.
No.
Okay.
We've got, that's the last big thing before Bebo comes. So that's it. Now we're just counting down the days.
Got to read those books and take those classes.
Yeah, we got a couple classes.
I guess
to
we got to
take
pay
still.
for that and start taking it this weekend.
A sleep training class, because we ain't fucking around with this sleep training shit.
That's what my supervisor, she was on the phone with Jim because we share a supervisor, and she was like, man, if I know Elyse, that boy, he's going to be on a schedule and she'll be back before we know it.
Yep. But again, not until next school year.
Well, yeah, like June, but yeah, yes. I won't be back that school year.
Yes, I just want to make sure that they know, because all these people keep saying they'll be back before we know, and I just want to make sure.
Oh yeah, no.
Don't be calling Mama Elyse.
No.
Hey, can we talk about the OC now?
Yeah. Oh, no, you didn't. Oh, yeah, you shared your rose. Okay, yeah. Let's talk about the OC. So these 2 episodes, The Sister Act, it's the 12th episode in season 3 of the OC, written by Layla Gerstein, who I don't believe has written anything before. First time I remember that name. Yeah. And it was directed by Ian Toynton. And then The Pot Stir is the 13th episode of season 3 of the OC, written by John Stevens and directed by Norman Buckley, who last directed the episode that was basically Risky Business.
It was they just remade Risky Business into an OC episode.
They did. Originally, the episodes aired on January the 19th and then the 26th in the year of 2006.
Only 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. Dear God, 15 years.
I know. So tell me about the episode overview, Scott. Read me them summaries.
All right. The first episode we're covering this week, as Elyse said, is called The Sister Act. In it, Caitlin Cooper, little sister of Marissa Cooper, returns to the OC during her winter break from an exclusive Montecito boarding school, bringing a lot of attitude and a few secrets of her own. Much more in the mold of her mother, Julie Cooper, than her sister Marissa, Caitlin turns heads as she tries to get closer to her family the only way she knows how. Stealing money from frat boys and lying about abortions.
Of course. Like all good.
All right, at least
high schoolers
before we move on to the next episode, tell me what you thought of the Sister Act. We have a new character joining the show, a character returning to the show.
We do have a character returning.
Played in season 1 by Shailene Woodley. No longer played by Shailene Woodley. Who plays Caitlin now? It's a name I recognize.
Willa something.
I'll look it up while you're...
I forget what. But I think... So what I do like is the character of Caitlin is very interesting, and she brings something to the show that I think we were lacking a little bit of, because
attitude. Yeah,
she definitely has some attitude. She's like a balance between the like Trey and Jess character. You know, like she's
not all bad.
She's not,
but she's not a Girl Scout.
No. I loved how she like comes to the house, the Cohen's house, and she is giving off Britney Spears "Oops, I Did It Again" vibes with her whole outfit. And then she goes and she changes, and she doesn't really change, but she then like lowers her shirt and buttons her jacket, so when she sees her mom, she's all like in her prep school uniform.
And I just want to be sure, like, We're talking Britney Spears, "Hit Me Baby One More Time" energy, not "Oops, I Did It Again" energy.
Hit me baby one more time.
Those are two very different energies.
Sorry, yes.
She was not wearing a pink latex jumper. She was wearing a schoolgirl outfit.
Sorry, I don't have all of her outfits memorized.
Well,
but
you weren't 13 when all that stuff was going down.
I was not a 13-year-old boy when all of that was coming out. No. Anyways, so I like the character coming into the show.
I like it too. The beginning of this episode basically starts with Seth and Ryan talking about how everything's been going too good. It's been too calm. And that's because we're basically, this season has 25 episodes. So right now we're like basically in the middle of the season. And so we're transitioning from the plot lines of the first season, the first half of the season, to the plot lines that are going to define the rest of the season, I think. And so basically,
I think you're right.
So basically, over the course of these 2 episodes, we take everything is good, everything is going well for all our characters for the first time in forever. And now we're just going to fucking make it all bad. Because in these 2 episodes, every single one of these characters,
they have a hiccup.
They have some a small hiccup, some a big hiccup. And in this first, and Caitlin.
Some are gasping for breath.
Caitlin is basically the thing that is going to facilitate a lot of those hiccups. And the frustrating part of that for me is, because you're right, I love her as a character. I think she's interesting and great, and she breathes a new kind of energy into the show that I do think it needs. But because they want her plotline to revolve around her sister, they need to revolve her plotline around the thing that's going on with her sister, which is Johnny. And once again, you're just like, what do people see in this boy who's so fucking
And can
boring?
we just talk about, too, whenever Marissa and her sister were going to meet them for lunch, she was like, which one is he? The one with the perfect bone structure? Like, have we ever mentioned that we thought that Johnny was attractive? Because I don't think that was ever mentioned before. And I know they weren't talking about Chili having perfect bone structure.
No. He is not, like, it's not that he's an ugly looking dude. He's not the type of person you would describe as having perfect bone structure. Like, that is more of a Vorchek or a Luke, like the kind of like, I don't know, when someone says perfect bone structure, I think more about like, there's a very standard, Pitt. Yes, there's a very standard like type of person that is. And Johnny is just not that type. No. He's just not that type. And I just don't understand why anyone likes this guy.
I do not understand.
And the show tries to like deal with the fact that Caitlin, who is 14, is now going out with this guy Johnny, who's 17.
She is 14, going on 15.
Thank you, babe. I don't like it. It's weird. It's weird.
And I sang that because that was part of the show.
It was.
Nobody knows that.
But
they don't watch the show.
The episode, The Sister Act, brings that into it. In, I don't know, not my favorite episode, but the next episode that we're covering this week is called The Pot Stir.
Yes.
And in this episode, while Marissa does all she can to get to know her sister, Caitlin just stirs up trouble for the gang as she prepares to celebrate her birthday. Sandy encourages Seth about college, but Seth finds a better alternative. Sandy and Matt work together to secure a contract for a new hospital, and Julie continues her quest to put her family back together again. So this episode is Caitlin's 15th birthday party.
It is.
Which is being held at Summer Roberts' house because Julie Cooper and Mr. Roberts are...
They are trying to get to know each other, and then Julie realizes that she said yes to a date on the same day that it's Caitlin's birthday, and the only way that they could figure it out in order for them to still get to date, but be able to have Caitlin's birthday too, is to make the party at the house.
This is an episode in which a lot is going on.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I liked it a lot. I liked a lot of, I think this is out of, if you needed me to pick a winner, if you put these 2 episodes head to head, I feel like The Pot Stir beats The Sister Act.
I agree with
hands
that.
down.
That's what we should do.
Yeah.
Ooh, every time we do 2, it should be like the 2 episodes go into a ring and they're like fighting it out for which one's better.
And then like...
Ding, ding, ding.
And then like...
Pot Stir.
Pot Stir rolls out of the ring, grabs a chair, just fucking slams it on the Sister Act's head.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a lot that happens in this episode. Seth is suddenly terrified of going to Brown. I think this is an interesting choice they did for him. We're going to talk more about this later in our Roses and Thornies, but to suddenly make it so he's terrified to leave home I thought it's not that it wasn't believable. I was just a bit surprised. And we're doing a fall from grace kind of arc with Seth. It seems like because
With quite a few characters, I think, this
Yeah.
episode.
I mean, both the Cohen men don't come out of this episode looking too great. Seth blows his interview with Brown and gets high instead, and Sandy Cohen slowly but surely morphs into
Caleb
Nickel. Not a good look for these men, but I like it. I like those storylines. I like one more than another, as we'll cover in a bit. But lots of cool stuff. The Caitlin and Johnny stuff, I could take or leave, but I love how Caitlin, like, if you ignore the fact that it's Johnny, I love her conflict with her sister. And they're trying to do this thing where actually, Marissa, you do love Johnny. Yeah, of course you love Ryan, but you also love Johnny. And I was like, no, she doesn't. No, she doesn't. But of course they're going to make it sure she does because she's like really bothered.
She's so complicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stuff with Julie and Neil Roberts is really interesting too, because she kind of almost falls back into the old, like that wonderful moment where she's in the house decorating for the party with Kirsten, and she like starts thinking about the ways that she would change the house around a bit, and she can't help herself. And Kirsten says, "Oh, don't count your chickens," and then walks off. And Julie
she picks up the silver tea
set and is already thinking about like, oh, this would be perfect. But then by the end of that episode, Neil has kind of said, I've been thinking about what you said, and it's not good that our kids that we date with our kids. And so it's like, oh, like she kind of falls into the old gold digging way, and she's rebuffed a little bit, and she has to kind of figure out now what she's going to do. I like it. Like it so much. What did you do? I've been talking about this episode a lot because I liked it so much.
I'm used to it.
Tell me what you thought about this episode.
I liked it. I agree. It was the better of the two. And I think that we had, gotten into the middle of the season. It has folded. The sister act introduces the new character, and then the pot stir shows us how she is going to affect the rest of the season.
Stir the pot?
Yeah. And so I enjoy it, except for the thing that I'm going to talk about right now, which is my thorn for the past two episodes. And we've already kind of talked about it a little bit.
No, let's go into it in detail.
How much we still just don't like Johnny. And I agree with you on what you were saying so my thorn is Caitlin and Johnny. My thorn is Caitlin and Johnny because it makes them invest more in Johnny again. But I do agree with you that what they're doing with Caitlin for this is very interesting, and you can see it, and Ryan sees it, which is surprising. But she's just trying to figure out a way that she can hurt her sister, and so she's trying to manipulate the situation. And it's just, Johnny is such a blah character, and you're watching the show for the first time through, and you're probably thinking, yes, at least now that she's back, we're done with Johnny, we're done with all these people here. And then they brought him back again, and so it's just I
really wonder if they committed themselves to the storyline, and like some way halfway through it, they realized Johnny was just not working as a character, but they had like committed themselves to it, so they just had to keep going. Because I find it very hard to believe. And again, this is I am not chastising the actor himself, who I'm sure is doing an admirable job with the material that's being given to him. There's just nothing here. There's no chemistry. There's no energy. There's nothing from this character. And the only way I'll buy the Johnny and Caitlin thing is if it is solely like what you said. It is Caitlin is not actually interested in this kid at all. She just knows that by dating him, she's going to piss her sister off. And that's the only way this whole thing makes sense. Because at least, and this is the bare minimum compliment I'm going to give here, at least you kind of understood why Marissa revolved around this kid, because of the showing the connection of past trauma that they had together. Like these are two people that had this past trauma with that they hurt someone, and then very badly, and then they had to live through that. And so there was like this small little tissue of connection there, and I still don't think the show did a good job with it, and I don't like it. But man, this guy sucks.
Yeah. He's bad.
Sucks. I don't know what they're going to
It's
do with
okay.
him from here, but
Where do we go from here now that nobody likes Johnny and his knees broken? Where do we go from here?
I really thought after last week he was going to be done because he lied about getting on the team and she was going to go back to the other school and be like, okay, yay, we have no reason to ever show the public school set again.
Mm-hmm.
Nope.
We're going to keep finding some more.
Oh, God, it sucks. It sucks.
Anyway, so that was my thorn. What's your thorn, Scott?
Sanford Cohen is my thorn. Sandy Cohen. This is a really sad episode for Sandy. I think it's the second episode in which this happens, right? Yeah. So in the second episode, Sandy Cohen is trying to get a hospital made. He is the president of the Newport group now, and he is trying to get a hospital made. And the board that has gathered the funds to build the hospital and is trying to decide which real estate group they're going to have do the hospital for them is hearing proposals. And Sandy is a good dude, and so he doesn't want to build it the way Caleb would have done it. He wants to do it. He doesn't want to wine and dine them. He doesn't want to throw women and fancy stuff at them. He just wants to have the better proposal. But he's corrupted because they lose their proposal.
Who doesn't want a churro, Scott? Who doesn't want the best churro?
Yeah. And then he has this great idea of
churros actually sound really good.
Churros are, yeah, let's get some churros.
So Where do we get churros?
They lose the proposal. And then Sandy says, I'm not ready to give up. I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to take him on a tour around the low-income neighborhood that this hospital would service.
And here's the problem, Scott.
Uh-huh.
All these people that he's trying to do these real estate business deals with are not Sandy Cohen people. They're Caleb Nickel people. They don't care, the underserved people. That's not why they're in it. They're in it for the money and they're in it for the fame. And so it's not going to work.
You need a Sandy Cohen to make a deal with. And so he compromises his morals. He buys this guy a fancy meal. He gets Matt's stripper friends to come over and entertain this dude. And at the end of the episode, the guy comes in and says,
I'm in. You're in? Honestly, I didn't see the difference between the proposals. You're trying to take care of me. The least I can do is take care of you. I mean, that's business, right?
And then he goes over and starts talking with the strippers again. And Sandy just feels dirty. No, what he says to him is, oh, yeah. He says,
Caleb would have been proud.
Caleb would have been proud.
And then Sandy goes home to his wife and tells her they got it. And she says, and you did it your way, too. You should feel so good about yourself. And he doesn't. And he doesn't tell her.
His way.
And he doesn't tell her. He didn't tell her the truth. And it makes me so sad.
Because he knows she'd be ashamed.
This is one of those thorns in which it's good TV. It's really good TV. I really like it, but I also really hate it because it makes me really sad. Because, I'm glad Sandy's getting challenged. He can't always be this beacon of morality, but I don't know how far they're going to go with this, how far he's going to be willing to go with this.
I don't either. We'll see, though.
It just shows you that the world of business is corrupt.
It is.
And you either live long enough to see yourself turn into a Caleb, or you die of a heart attack like Caleb.
Either way, you end up like Caleb. Well, Scott, my rose happened in the pot stir for this week.
I think all of our stuff happened in the pot stir.
It's just because it was a better episode. Well, I guess mine kind of started in the sister act with Caitlin coming back. But anyways, so we have already mentioned how much we love Smart Summer. But Smart Summer is also going into now college interviews. And so when I say my roses Summer's interview for Brown, it's not just the actual interview itself. It was the whole prep for the interview too, where she's sitting down there with Seth and with Ryan, and Ryan is trying to quiz them through the questions. And it was just the difference between Seth trying to do the rehearsed, this is what they want to hear, and Summer just being herself and getting made fun of, but then also she has substance behind what these answers are. And if you actually take the time to listen to it, you'll understand why these people are her heroes. And yeah, they actually did do something that was amazing, and just let her explain it and she'll sell it to you.
Oh, yeah.
And so I enjoyed getting to see that, because I think it was really surprising to both Seth and to Ryan once she kind of explained everything a little bit more. It did that weird, like, slow pan in on his face, and you were making all these comments about it, because Seth is like, that's where I feel like his realization of this is going to be different. What am I really going to be doing? Happens. But then also, she actually did go through the interviews for Brown, and the whole idea was for her to make her interview last longer so that Seth could come late, because he needed to come late for what you're going to talk about in a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
But her interview lasted an hour and a half. And if your interview lasts an hour and a half,
That's pretty
it's a good interview.
That's pretty good.
And so, just based on that, like, Summer nailed it.
Oh, she killed it.
And
we don't really get to see any of it, but she absolutely killed it.
Yeah, she did. And then her going through the brochure, even at the end of her, like, trying to pick these classes. And so she has it. And she ripped up all the boring ones that are like the science and the English and the history and all of that. And then she keeps looking through, and there's more pages that she's ripping out as she's doing it. And I think it's fun to see, again, her make that change as someone who, like, she's actually caring about her future.
Yeah.
And she's taking it seriously, and she should be taken seriously. And so I enjoy it.
She's out there hustling, and like, she's driven, she knows what she wants, and she's getting it.
Yeah.
And it's so awesome for it to not have anything to do with a boy.
Yeah.
And
I mean, she originally applied there for Seth, but
it's not about that anymore
no.
for her at all. She wants to go to Brown. She wants to get an education, and she's going to do it her way. And it's awesome.
I like it.
How much is this character? I mean, we talk about this all the time, but she has transformed this character from the first season, and it's so awesome. I love her.
Well, and again, she's transformed because of the way that the public viewed her and latched onto her. Like, she made it lovable, and made the people want her to keep her around.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, credit to Rachel Bilson here, who just took a bit part and brought so much charisma to it that they made it a central part of the show.
It was great. It was great.
And her chemistry with Adam Brody.
Yeah. Well,
not too
on
shabby
and off
either.
the set for a while.
Yeah. Are they, at this point in the show, are they still dating, or had they broken up?
They actually stopped dating. I think it's in the 4th season in real life. I think the 2nd and 3rd they're together.
Okay.
I think.
Well,
or they may have been together for part of the 4th, but not all. I don't remember.
Speaking of pot stirring.
Yeah. Tell me about why it's called pot stir.
In this episode, Seth Cohen gets high.
He's so high, smoking pot because he's scared of Brown. He's so high in his room, smoking all alone. That's all I got for you.
It was great, babe.
Thanks.
It was great. Yeah, Seth Cohen gets super high in the show, and it's very funny. So I don't know if you remember our talk about the very first episode of the show, in which Ryan and Marissa are smoking a cigarette, and I listened to the director's commentary for that episode, and they said getting the censors to sign off on them smoking a cigarette was a giant pain in the ass. And
look where they've come.
Well, but here's the thing, though. This is like the way you get around smoking and drug taking in these shows with the censors is by telling them that the show is going to make it clear that this is very bad what he's doing. So Seth can't just get high in this episode. He's got to get addicted to the pot and
mess up his
interview.
life.
Yeah. So he's not just going to like do what any other teen in Southern California probably was doing, which is just token up and relaxing. He's going to do it in secret and destroy his life with it. Okay. That aside, Adam Brody does a very funny hi Seth, and I really laughed a whole lot about it. Like the whole scene with him and Ryan, where Ryan's just like, He's just sniffing around his room, and he's like, "You smell that?" And like, I've read that a lot of Adam Brody's dialogue is improvised in the show, and I feel like he's just improvising that whole scene. I'm sure there's some of it that's written probably, but I feel like we're going to play some of it because it's the funniest fucking thing
you
in the
got
world.
this one?
I got this episode. I did not get the last episode. It was still on that old disc. That's
It's
not
fine.
working.
We didn't like the last episode as much.
I got this episode. So I'm going to play some of Hi, Seth.
Well, are you ready? Am I ready? Do me a favor. Go ahead and feel that. Feel that puppy right there.
No.
Okay. You don't want to touch another man. I get it. I get it. You find my slender swimmer's body intimidating.
Something smells.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But they say the first sign of a brain tumor is phantom smells, so you should lie down. Hey, you solved it. You figured it out. You're a mystery solver. You're like an Encyclopedia Brown. Remember when Encyclopedia Brown, he went on down to Texas to solve the mystery of the great shootout? Hey, how about this for a change? How about in a cage match, Encyclopedia Brown versus the great brain to the death? Are you high? No!
And it's so great. It's so great. I am kind of annoyed that the show can't just be like, and he was a kid and he did a little marijuana and it was fine because it's marijuana, not a big deal. But of course they're not going to do that. So yeah, I mean, he misses his interview though. He shows up to the interview and then he walks away and then he lies to Summer about it. So all that's annoying. But if it's the price I have to pay to see Hi, Seth, I just love it.
And that's the thing, is we're not actually going to be able to get everyone to see the visuals of
Oh, his
him
face is so good.
That's the best part about it, but you
know-
just got to watch it.
You know, sometimes you see people acting high and you just know that they've definitely smoked a joint before. Because that is like, I wonder if in preparation for this, Adam Brody just like blazed up
Oh, I'm sure he
and
did.
then looked in the mirror and like looked at his face and said, okay, here's what I do. It's just so good. Everyone should go watch this episode again.
It's a good one.
And just look at High Seth. We played some of it, but oh man, it's so good. I loved High Seth.
It is.
Loved High Seth. We're gonna get to see some more of High Seth because
Maybe we'll get to see some low Seth.
nice.
Yep.
Well done, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank
well
you.
done. Yeah, because our episode ends with we see the towel stuffed under the door again because that's how he's hiding it, and he's just in his room smoking by himself.
Yep. It's okay. His dad would join him, I'm sure.
I'm sure he would. Like, there's no way his dad didn't get high all the time, and still probably would.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not anymore since his wife is an addict, but
Yeah.
Ryan would definitely be. Like, all these kids would be. They're rich
All of
kids in
them.
Southern California. They would all be smoking weed
Yeah.
all the time.
They would be.
But it's going to ruin his whole life because drugs are bad.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. They're really, really bad for you.
Is that her "Don't Do Drugs" jingle?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
It's from my childhood.
Is that a real jingle?
Yeah.
No.
I forget what it was from.
I thought you were just making it up.
No, that's like legit from my childhood.
So someone wrote a jingle that's "Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
They're really
bad for you."
I can't remember if it was just like
You have to be making this up.
I'm not. Whenever my sisters come over for a movie marathon weekend, remind me to ask them about it for who came up with it. I don't know if it was someone like
You sure it wasn't just your
in our
parents?
circle came up with it. I don't know if it was my parents came up with it. I don't know if it was part of like one of our Dare thing. You know, like did
I
you do
refuse
Dare?
to believe someone was paid money to write that jingle.
Did you do Dare when you were in elementary school?
I mean, did we do Dare?
The Dare program?
We had like a cop come and talk to us about drugs.
Oh, see, we actually had the program. It was like a week thing, and we had the cop come and like
A week?
yeah,
No.
they like no, I mean like it was weeks
we
long.
didn't do it for no.
It was like for one day for maybe like a month, and then there was an essay contest. I got second place.
about how you would never do drugs.
Yeah, give him the cold shoulder.
Nice.
What, Scott?
No, I
I'll
was.
see if I can find that essay.
See, I was born up in New Jersey, so they were just like, "Yeah, take drugs, woo."
Yeah,
That's what they did.
I'm sure.
I mean, I remember Dare. It didn't like.
Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. They're really, really bad for you.
That. I'm sorry. This just seems like something that like little girl Elyse made up. Like,
I didn't make it up. I know I didn't make it up. I don't remember who made it up.
how many drugs have you done?
I don't do drugs, Scott.
Because they're really, really bad for you.
Yes. I take vitamins.
Yeah, me too. I've never done any drugs.
Scott is winking right now.
You sold me out.
Yep. Scott, you know what I'm going to do right now? I'm going
What?
to have you talk about your style section. There doesn't seem to be a lot of style that you want to talk about this week.
No, there was
Other
only...
than the puffy shirt?
Huh?
The puffy shirt? The pirate shirt?
Can we go to the section first?
Scott's style section. Come on, Scott. Tell me about the style in the OC. Don't do drugs, yeah. Come on, Scott. Tell me about the style in the OC, but don't smoke pot, yeah.
In this week's style section, we only have one thing to talk about, and this is whatever the fuck Marissa is wearing in this scene.
It's real bad.
She's in her mother's trailer home because they live there now.
I don't know if I even remember seeing this shirt. It's so tacky.
It's awful. So please describe, because you're better at
You
the descriptions
describe
than I
it.
am.
It's you, Scott.
All right,
it's your style section.
It's some sort of frilly tunic. It looks kind of like a mixture between the puffy shirt from Seinfeld, but with a blue blouse over it. And then like at the belly, like there's some kind of, I don't even know what that is. It's real bad. Like Marissa's style has never been my favorite thing on the show. But like, I feel like this is so bad that her mom would be like, Marissa.
I mean,
fuck are you
Marissa's
wearing?
face says it all. Look at her face while she's wearing that. She's like, what did they put me in this week?
Misha Barton's like, I don't want to fucking wear this.
Oh.
I'm just going to get some drugs
Yeah.
because they're really, really good for me.
They're really, really bad for you.
Yeah, this is just a mess. This whole thing, all of it. I don't know what else to say other than it's all a mess.
It's really bad.
I mean, the only other style section is Caitlin Cooper's style, which is pretty good, if not a little.
I feel like things really short.
It's a little weird because she's supposed to be 14.
Scott, have you seen what 14-year-olds wear these days?
I haven't, and I don't want to.
They're wearing exactly what she's wearing.
Well, that's upsetting because that's not. That's a child still. That's a child, and
your son's going to be looking at them.
well, I mean, if he's 14, I guess I'm okay with him looking at 14-year-olds
Dressed like that?
Well, I mean, what I'm going to tell, don't look at them.
You say,
You close your eyes, son.
yes,
Don't look at that.
exactly.
Not till you're older. Wait, no.
We got to figure out what we're going to say in these conversations, Scott.
Oh, gosh, it's going to be such a confusing mess.
It's okay. I'll sing him a song. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs. They're really, really bad for you.
You've created the perfect way to stop our son from ever doing drugs.
I know. That's his lullaby to sleep every night. Don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
One day, he's going to be a teenager, and some dude's going to offer him some weed. And in the back of his head, he's going to say, no, man, they're really, really bad for me. And he's going to walk away.
I hope so. I hope he hears his mother singing in the background.
Or you just appear. Or you just call him. Or send him an MP3 file that's you singing.
That's my ringtone. I'll set that for him when he goes to college.
Okay. And lock his phone so he can't change it.
Yes.
Amazing.
Those are the types of things I'm really looking forward to doing.
Amazing. Okay.
Yeah. Let's move on to relationship status.
Okay.
So first we're going to start with Sandy and Kirsten Cohen, our foundation parent couple. Last week they got a 10 out of 10. This week Sandy struggles with how he can remain honest at work. He ends up doing business like Kirsten's father and is not truthful, telling her how his decisions are making him question his morals. So we're going to bump them down 1 point to a 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, the old adage applies, Elyse. You get laid, you go up. You lie, you go down.
Okay.
You lie to your significant other, you drop a point, at least a point. So we have to.
Well, tell me about Summer and Seth then.
Last week, we gave them a 9 out of 10. Summer is doing everything she can to help her and Seth's relationship continue when they go off to school next year. But Seth has started to get nervous about how the future could impact his status quo. He isn't honest with Summer with how he messed up his chances and their future together at Brown. And so we have to deduct a point.
We do. So they're at an 8 out of 10.
I'm so disappointed in my boy that I would have put more off than that, but we'll keep him at an 8 out of 10. I have a feeling
they deteriorate.
This will be a downward spiral.
It might be. Next, we're going to talk about Ryan and Marissa. Last week, they were at a 7 out of 10. Marissa's little sister comes back, and Ryan acts as big brother to defend her in the first episode. And I guess kind of continuing in the pot stir. Marissa and Ryan, they don't really have rough patches this week. Their whole storylines are pretty much separate. So that's just really because both characters are duds and they're just the ones that are there in the background. So we're just going to keep them at a 7 out of 10.
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that Marissa is realizing that she might have feelings for Johnny for some reason, and that could hurt her relationship with Ryan, but that hasn't really happened yet.
Yeah.
Speaking of those two, Johnny and Marissa, we gave them a 2 out of 10 begrudgingly last week. Johnny has given Marissa the silent treatment and is doing his best to move on. You meant to write two smaller and more troubled Coopers, but you wrote do, and I think that's funny because he's trying to do the smaller Cooper.
Maybe he is.
Who, again, is 14. So we're going to give them a 0 out of 10, and we're going to write them off the board. We're done. No more Johnny and Marissa.
As a romantic relationship. But the romantic relationship that started last week with Julie and Neil as a 2 out of 10 is continuing, with Julie starting out distraught because Neil's date with Veronica, who's Taylor's mom.
Which is something we haven't even talked about.
Yeah, because I changed my rose this week and asked for Kiki for some help. Julie eventually gets an opportunity to have a date with Neil, but it's on Caitlin's birthday. He offers his house for the party just so they can spend time together. So we're going to bump them up to a 3 out of 10. Even with the conversation she mentioned earlier, we're still going to keep them in a 3 out of 10. It's low.
I think their nature is going to get to them. I don't think this relationship's over.
And the thing that we didn't touch on earlier, the whole Julie and Kirsten's business is the dating service for high-profile people in the OC.
Isn't it called New Match or something?
I forget what it's called. But anyways, the first kind of couple that they put together was Taylor Townsend's mom, Veronica, and Summer's dad, Neil Roberts. And so
guess who was really excited about that?
Taylor was pulling a Julie and came into the house and was figuring out where she wanted her room to be and about how it was going to be great to be sisters.
And it just warms the dead, cold, icy areas of your heart because Taylor Townsend is the best character on the show.
But she really wasn't in the pot stir.
No, that's why we didn't talk about her.
Yeah. But anyways, so that happens, and then they were trying to figure out a way in order to get Summer's dad and Taylor's mom to not continue to date because they hit it off on the first one, surprisingly to everybody. And so Seth decided to spread the rumor that Dr. Roberts has genital warts.
He was supposed to say he voted for John Kerry.
He's like, that's just not going to have done it. It's not going to do it. Anyways, so yeah. Taylor and Summer are no longer going to become sisters. But hey, maybe Summer and Marissa will.
No, they're going to be sisters still. They're not going to be sisters. But she says, I hope we can still be sisters. And Summer says yes, because Summer is the best. I'm telling you, if Sandy Cohen continues this downward spiral, we might have to crown Summer as morality queen on this show.
We'll see. Tell me about our new couple, Scott.
Our new couple is Johnny and Caitlin.
Oh, yay.
Caitlin is using Johnny to get back Marissa and all to get a little action for herself, too. A midnight swim, if you know what I mean. But he didn't go in. He just got her a towel.
But he saw everything.
Was she naked? I thought she was just in her underooskies. Which, again, 14. 14. Ugh.
boarding school.
They are spending time together, and Caitlin invites him to her birthday party where they share a kiss, which she later calls making out, that is not the same thing.
As a peck.
It was very small. It was a very quick
a peck.
We're gonna give him a 2 out of 10. I don't think either of them are really into this thing.
Yeah. So those are relationships from this week. And Scott, we have 2 episodes next week, 13 and 14, titled The Cliffhanger and The Heavy Lifting. So do you have any predictions about either of those episodes?
Well, the show likes to do this thing with its episode titles where they are both metaphorical and literal. Like, for example, The Pot Stir, where you have someone stirring the pot, but also it is an episode about marijuana. The Sister Act, which is just, it's her sister's on it. So I'm going to say there's going to be a literal cliff in this. There's going to be a cliffhanger at the end of the episode, but it's going to revolve a literal cliff.
And there will be a figurative cliffhanger at the end?
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
It will be both a literal and figurative cliffhanger. And in the next one, heavy lifting, it's going to be, again, a figurative and a literal as well. So someone will have to carry something heavy, but also there'll be a lot of heaviness, maybe to do with that cliffhanger. I don't know.
It needs to be lifted.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll see.
Okay, we will see. And that's all we have time for this week. So if you like this podcast, you can check out all the other shows that we do over at doofmedia.com. Last week, there was a book club on Friday. I think we had mentioned that. This week, I don't know if we have any special shows coming up.
We do. On Saturday at 9:30 Central Time. It's
that
Game
Doofin-
Club time.
Game Club.
It's Game Club time.
When's the next Doofin Chill?
It'll be in a couple weeks.
Okay, but Game Club. What game are they playing this
They're
month for
playing a
Game
video
Club?
game called Celeste. It's a game you've seen me playing over the past couple weeks and yelling at my screen for.
The one that you died like 18,000 times.
Okay. Yes. It was 10,000, not 18,000.
10,000 when you showed me. Is it up to 18,000 now?
Not yet.
What is it at?
I don't remember.
17.
It's a very
$99.
very difficult game, and I'm playing the hard ones, the
course.
seasides, which are
Of course.
fucking impossible.
That's why you're dying all the times.
Shut up. I watched someone play the hardest level, and it's so disheartening because they just make it look so easy, and they're just better than I ever will be at this game.
They wouldn't
ever.
release the video if they could see how bad they struggled, you know?
Yeah. It's just, gosh, it's a really good game. I think they're going to have a lot of fun stuff to talk about on this game. I think that the gameplay is very fun, but the storyline of this game is very powerful and impactful too. So I think it's going to be a fun conversation. That'll be Saturday night over on our YouTube channel.
Okay.
They'll be live, and you can go chat with them about Celeste.
What's your Doofcast this week?
Doofcast this week is Hellboy 2, The Golden Army.
so
It's our 7th film in our Del Toro
Guillermo?
series.
How many movies do you or does he have?
We have Hellboy, we have
Hellboy
Pacific Rim, we have Crimson Peak, and we have Shape of Water. So we have 4 more. We'll be wrapped up before Bebe comes. That's the
Maybe.
plan.
We'll see if we can get it all wrapped up.
But if you like this show or any of those shows we just talked about and you want to support them with your monies, you can do that by going to patreon.com/doofmedia, and you can pledge at any of our various levels and get a bunch of cool stuff like monthly live streams, like bonus podcast episodes. We do a show called Other Levels of the Tower, where Matt and I look at Stephen King adaptations. We do shows. There's a show, I think, coming out this Wednesday called Freeman Bros, which is when Matt and his brother just get together and talk for an hour and a half about, I don't know, some random stuff. Last month they talk about cities. He doesn't tell me what it is until it comes out, so I don't actually know what they're talking about this month. But it sure will be interesting. 2 very smart guys.
And we're going to start our fun new podcast. It'll be a bonus one too. Right? Isn't that a bonus one?
It's not. It's going to be
it's going to be a regular one?
Yeah, but we're not talking about that yet, man.
Yeah, just gotta tease, babe. You know me. Just such a tease.
We got to finish this OC show first, babe.
Yeah. Also, if you happen to be listening via Apple Podcasts, go on and give us a rating and a review. We would appreciate that. 5 stars. Maybe the reason that we haven't been getting any ratings or reviews lately is because I tell people I only want them if it's a 5-star and they don't want to give us 5 stars.
Okay, give us a 3-star review.
But don't. Really give us 5 stars.
And then up it to 5. Because that'd be really mean.
Yeah. But anyway, that's it. Bye.
We'll see you folks next week.